So you've got some stubborn belly fat, or just more fat than you'd like to have in general. So naturally, you know that you need to make changes in your diet, and you're looking for some foods to help you shed that fat off. Well, you've come to the right place, because fortunately for you, I'm an expert at getting rid of fat. So to kick things off, number 5. Alright, stop. Let's cut this shit. What? So first of all, you can't spot reduce fat, so there's not going to be any single food or certain kind of food that's going to help you directly get rid of belly fat or even fat in general. This is because fat loss is dictated by a rule called calories in, calories out. Essentially, if in your day-to-day activities and through exercise you burn off more than you consume, then your weight will go down thanks to thermodynamics. It's a simple energy balance equation. So with that in mind, let's kind of rephrase this video into 5 foods that help me more sustainably put myself into a caloric deficit and facilitate improvements in body composition. So to start things off, we have number 5, which is Cauliflower products. I don't have any kind of affiliation or sponsorship with this brand. This specific brand I noticed has extremely low calorie products, namely their pizza crusts and chicken nuggets, which if you're a fat person or an ex-fat person is kind of a godsend because now I can diet without cutting those foods out. Cauliflower pizza crust is pretty fucking big and it's like 500 calories for the pizza crust. So if you go light on the cheese and toppings, it's pretty easy to make like a 700 to 800 calorie entire pizza. And then if you're kind of doing what I suggest in my other videos and saving a lot of your calories for the end of the day, that gives you the opportunity to eat an entire pizza by yourself. And then of course you can't forget about the cauliflower chicken nuggets. They're 130 calories for like 11 grams of protein. If you compare that to McDonald's chicken nuggets, which are 200 calories for 4 chicken nuggets as opposed to 130, that's 35% more calories. Pro tip, throw them in the air fryer and absolutely nuke them. You want to get them extra crispy because it makes them taste a lot more like normal chicken nuggets and it completely masks the cauliflower taste. Number 4, sorry to interrupt, but this video is brought to you by today's sponsor, me. Over the past few weeks, I've been working on releasing my fitness program, which I'm expecting to drop around July 1st. So if you want a 20% off discount code on my fitness program when it releases that you can use in the first week, you can click the first link in the description and put in your email. And then when I release my program, I'll send you a 20% off discount code. Also, I've been putting a lot more effort into making content on Instagram. So if you could follow me on Instagram too, that would really help me out a lot. Back to the video. Number 4, Russell Stover's Candy. This is a brand of sugar-free candy, which don't specifically aim to be low calorie, but there is one specific candy out of their entire line that to me shines the most, and that is their sugar-free stevia extract fruit chews. Now there's a few reasons why these are good. First of all, they taste really fucking good. I think they were aiming for Starbursts here, but they don't exactly taste like Starbursts. They're close, but to me they're a lot more reminiscent of something like saltwater taffy if you've had that, and they're about 15 calories a piece, which is less than a mint. Now another great thing about them, and this might seem like a con at first, but I'll explain shortly, is the wrappers on them are annoying as fuck to get off. And when you're trying to conserve your calories, this makes it a lot easier for you to control your portions, and at least for me, significantly reduces the likelihood that I'm just going to eat the entire container. Now again, I haven't really tried many of their other products, but they definitely do have some other good lower calorie alternatives. It's just that these ones shine the most to me. Number 3 on the list, I actually have 2 here. The first one is Halo Top ice cream. Halo Top is basically this pint of ice cream that they somehow managed to get down to like 300 to 350 calories, and unless I'm on a bulk, I really don't eat much other ice cream. Hell, even when I'm bulking, I usually stick to Halo Top and low calorie stuff because I can pretty easily go over my calories even when I'm trying to gain size. So Halo Top is a great alternative to normal ice cream, but there's a problem. It's a great alternative to normal ice cream. It's really fucking good, and personally, whenever I get a tub of Halo Top, I plan on eating like a third or half of it in one sitting, but usually I end up eating the entire container, which is why recently I've discovered and gravitated towards these Breyers Carb Smart bars. These are 60 calories a bar, and I don't remember if you get like 5 or 6 in a container, but just know that a container of these Carb Smart bars is about the same calories as a pint of Halo Top ice cream. So here's the rundown. If you were to hypothetically go through the entire container somehow in one night of these Carb Smart bars, it would be equivalent to going through the entire container of Halo Top ice cream. But the difference here is they're pre-portioned for you and in wrappers, which again is annoying as f. So it's going to be a lot less likely for you to go through the entire box of these bars than it is for you to sit down with a spoon and just eat an entire container of Halo Top ice cream. So if I plan to eat 1 Carb Smart bar and I end up eating 2 or 3, that's half the calories than if I plan to eat half the container of Halo Top ice cream and I end up eating the entire container. Do you kind of get what I mean here? So if I'm running back and forth to the kitchen, grabbing individual Carb Smart bars, opening the wrapper, taking the time to eat it, and then watching the fact that I just ate an entire ice cream bar, I'm a lot less likely to eat more more calories. The only downside for these is the flavor options are pretty limited. I basically only buy the caramel swirl ones. But other than that, when I'm on a very restrictive diet, I pretty much always go for these. Number 2, and this is going to be a little bit of a weird one, but hear me out, freeze-dried candy. Now, I don't know if this is available everywhere, but there's this like farmer's market near me that sells a whole bunch of different kinds of freeze-dried candy. I usually buy the sour gummy worms, and here's where it gets interesting. It's like 5 to 10 gummy worms in a bag, but because they're freeze-dried, and I guess however the process works, they expand and they become like ginormous. The easiest way to explain it is they're like gummy worm Cheeto Puffs. But for me, these are great because they curb my sweet tooth, they're high volume and pre-portion controlled for you. So it'd be like the same calories as eating like an 80 calorie or like 50 calorie fun size pack of whatever candy you end up buying that's freeze-dried. And because you're literally eating like the actual branded candy, at least that's what they sell near me, I don't really feel like I'm making like a compromise when it comes to my diet, if that makes sense. I feel like if you only eat low calorie food swaps and like super clean, you can almost build up this weird feeling of diet fatigue, I guess, where you go weeks or months pushing away the temptations, you know, the great foods that you wish you could have that you can't have, until you just can't do it anymore and eventually you incorporate it back in. These and all the foods I've mentioned so far are great because you kind of feel like you're cheating on your diet without actually cheating on your diet. Honorable mention, PB2 peanut butter. Specifically, if you mix it with low calorie or just regular jelly, like just completely ignore the fact that you're supposed to mix it with water and pour it straight on to pure sugar jelly. Anytime I'm craving a PB&J like a 4-year-old, this completely curbs it. By the way, when you're using PB2, if you're trying to use it like actual peanut butter, one, honestly, you're probably going to be fairly disappointed unless you do what I just mentioned, or you use a lot less water than they recommend. I think PB2 really shines when you mix it with other stuff. So for example, another thing I've done is I've mixed PB2 with sugar-free maple syrup, and it ended up being a really good peanut butter syrup, which is the perfect transition for number 1. Learn to cook your own low-calorie, high-volume alternatives. While I don't have a cookbook to sell you, I can tell you that there are thousands of recipes online that you can find that are low-calorie, high-volume, almost exact mimics of foods you can find in fast food chain, the grocery store, candy. If I had to guess, there's probably a low-calorie, high-volume alternative for Belle Delphine's bathwater. So while I got really lucky with having a mom available 24/7 that can cook for me and make these foods for me, you should still learn the basics of how to operate kitchen equipment. You know, a blender, the oven, air fryer. Might even have to get a little fancy with it and use the microwave. But if you have recipes, cooking really is not that hard. Like, the entire point of a recipe is to teach someone who doesn't know how to make something. So just follow recipes you find online. If the video was entertaining or helpful, go ahead and give me a subscribe. It's the natural thing to do. And then on top of that, follow me on Instagram. Might sound silly, but having more Instagram followers is going to help me a lot when it comes to networking. So it's something that you can do for free to directly help me grow. I also offer one-on-one coaching, so if you're interested in being coached by me, that's also down there in the description somewhere. Hopefully I see you in the next video.